What a beautiful Tuesday, Parenting Tuesday it is once again. And today we have a very, very interesting topic because first and foremost, the children are on holiday, right? So we are going to be discussing about parenting and nutrition. And I have an amazing mommy here, a mother of 3. She's going to introduce herself to us, and the expert who I think is the one now who gives all the advice about nutrition, because knowing that nutrition is the foundation of a child's growth, especially at a very tender age as they grow. So with me in studio, I have 2 amazing ladies. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
And I'll let you introduce yourselves, Mary and Jane. So start with you, Mary.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Moroki.
Yeah.
I'm a licensed clinical nutritionist and I'm also a food scientist. Actually just completed this year my master's in food science and technology.
Okay.
I am passionate about life, about people, I am a self-enthusiast, so that means anything wellness will find me.
Okay.
My circle calls me Marie the Food Doctor.
Oh.
That is Reconfident Solutions Africa and other people I interact with.
Fantastic.
My friends will say I am, if you've worked with me for the last 1 year, I come out as an ambivert. So there is a time I'm all over the place and there is a time I just want to self-reflect.
Great,
Awesome.
great. Asante sana. Jane, your turn.
Hello everyone, my name is Jane Mudhoni Mwangi. I'm a child of God first of all, born again Christian, a lover of Jesus Christ. Secondly, I am a wife to an amazing man called Manasseh Mwangi. I'm also a mother of 3 beautiful children,
Right.
age 6, 3 heading to 4, and 1 heading to 2 next year. Yes, those are 2 boys and 1 girl.
Wow,
I am so blessed to have them. They're just the best.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
for that.
and I'm also an entrepreneur.
And you're an
Yes, in my
entrepreneur.
career circle.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, fantastic. And I give it up to, when you say you have an amazing husband, I think I can agree to that because he actually dropped you right on time.
Yes.
Anyway, let's keep this going. Let's start the conversation with the expert. Mary, what is nutrition all about?
Well, nutrition entails the process of how the body receives and utilizes or makes use of nutrients. And the nutrients we're talking about, you can get them from food or even from supplements.
Okay.
So the whole process of obtaining this food, either it's from the farm, preparation, cooking, and even after storage, how it utilizes it, that is digestion, up to the very end, which is elimination. When you're talking about foods in the Kenyan context, for example, we have ugali that gives us energy. An example of a protein is eggs, which helps in bodybuilding. We have vegetables. We have our indigenous managu, terere. We have sukuma wiki, cabbage. They provide us with vitamins and minerals, and we have a whole sum of diverse fruits to choose from. So all the foods that we have provide these nutrients, and I had also mentioned you can get these nutrients from supplements, and you have different supplements that are in.
Which I like that bit of supplement because it's something we're going to talk about on supplements. It's a whole different, and it's interesting to know that even children can actually be given supplements. Now to mom, a mommy of 3 who doesn't look like one. Anyway, so how do you, as a parent, I know these are young kids.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that they eat a healthy, balanced diet, a nutritious diet?
I can say personally, I love nutrition, like from way back. Like I think in me there's just that wiring that nutrition is inside you somewhere. So I would say, like, from myself loving nutrition, it had to trickle down to my kids.
Right.
So I had to be so intentional even in what I'm giving them. So we try as much as we can to really limit on the junk and give them, intentionally giving them the nutritious bit of it. Yeah, so I can say it's that deliberate action of giving them the nutritious food as opposed to letting the world dictate what else they can eat. There's so many things they can eat, but I intentionally, as a mother, with my just those nutritional instincts in me, I just prepare the nutritious food for them.
And I love what you've just said. You said you started that way before, way back. So it starts with us parents. Kids really, I think they really look up to us in whatever we do, right?
Sure.
So I like that bit.
Yeah.
Mary, you said you've talked about supplements just before. We want to understand our viewers and listeners, including me also as a parent, that how is it possible that kids need supplement? I thought with what they eat, if it's a balanced diet, that's fine. And what are the pros and cons, if at all there are any?
Wow, that's a good question. So when it comes to supplements, supplements, you only give your child supplements in 2 occasions.
Okay.
First and foremost, if it's recommended by your healthcare provider, either a nutritionist, a dietitian, or maybe a doctor. And also supplements if there are any deficiencies. For example, maybe your child is suffering from anemia, or maybe vitamin A deficiency. So that is when you provide supplements. Otherwise, I will recommend that let the children get all the nutrients they need from the foods that you have. For example, if it's vitamin C, we can get them from oranges, from lemons, from pineapples. There is a whole lot of fruits and vegetables that we can utilize to get all these nutrients that we need. So unless it's recommended and it's very and it's at that time it's required, that's when you can go for supplements. Don't do over the counter without any advice from a healthcare provider.
Not even something is omega-3 a supplement?
Yes, it is.
Because I hear a lot of, or I see parents just, because we are homa nini mafuta ya samaki from way back. So is that advisable?
Well, omega-3 you can get it from foods, for example, fatty fish, even the normal omena that we have. But what I insist on is let it come from your doctor, let it come from your nutritionist. I think one thing that as Kenyans, we visit a parent, a family, then you say, I give this to my child, and you're like, okay, it's good for my child. Let me go back and we just copy and paste without even checking at the pros and cons. Because also it's important to note this, if we give too much of everything, it can be toxic to the body. And remember, children are still growing up, they're developing, their bodies doesn't have that it doesn't have, I will say, the proper mechanisms to actually eliminate some of this, and you don't want to get to toxic levels.
Fantastic, well said. Now, Jean, what is a typical day like for you? Like a meal. What is a typical meal like for you on a day-to-day basis? Because it may not be the same food, ugali, every day, but how does the plate of your child look like on a daily basis?
Okay, I make sure that in my children's plate we have a balanced diet. Okay. That is, we have the proteins, we have the carbohydrates, and we have the greens. That is mandatory from the youngest to the eldest. Like that is always mandatory. Okay. So from the beginning of the day, when we start off the day, we've made it a culture in my home that we start off with water. There is usually that term that I usually tell them, we are washing our tummies first. So we wash our tummies, we drink like a glass of water. They can not finish a glass per se, but I make sure at least they have several sips. And then we have this lemon juice. There's a concoction that she taught me about, the pineapples and the lemon. So that one, it helps them to at least keep the flus at bay, because you see with this age they really get the flus quite often. Okay. So we do that, and then we take breakfast. Breakfast can be anything. Okay. But normally my breakfast is usually, we try as much as we can to limit wheat. Okay. So we can do a maximum of three wheats in a week. Okay. So normally we do the kienyeji things, the sweet potatoes, the arrowroots, the cassavas. Yes.
They eat that?
They do. My kids they love sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, so because I taught them before like they started started weaning, that is what we started doing.
Okay.
Because they found us eating that. So we really try. We can do like cassava, sweet potatoes, then kahuit.
Okay.
You know, like that ka bread. And then maybe arrowroots and sweet potatoes. Mandazi.
Yeah.
We do, yeah. So I don't like say we don't eat mandazi, we don't eat chapos, because they love them.
Okay.
So what I do, I just limit it. So after breakfast, we'll do maybe some midday snack. We can do maybe a smoothie for them, for the kids. And then we do lunch, which we do all of us. And then after that, we can put some water there, and then snack at 4 for around 4.
And in all this, you ensure it's a balanced, healthy meal.
Yes. For the snacks, we can't really do the 3 of them.
No,
but we try to. We can do a smoothie which has maybe yogurt and bananas in it. We can do like 4 p.m. We can do porridge, which I put some egg inside, so I make sure at least it's enhanced.
A raw egg?
Yes, a raw egg. I was told that by a nutritionist.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I have a history with visiting a nutritionist.
Okay.
So, yes, so that is around 4-ish. And then now at supper we take food together. Before they go to sleep at around 9 or thereabouts, we take milk. They take milk. The kids only.
Okay.
They take fresh milk, fresh cow's milk. Okay. And then now they go to sleep.
Fantastic.
Yes.
There's something you've mentioned about the concoction, which now comes to the expert.
Yeah.
You've talked about the lemon and something to keep flu at bay. I think it would be important for other parents to also get to know how is it done, how is it made, especially in this weather that we are in currently.
Oh, nice. So actually I was buying pineapples, and then I realized most of the times we throw away the rind. And me, I'm a researcher, and I also sell honey, very legit honey. So I was like, what can I do with these rains and incorporate some good honey in them to just make use of them? So just waste management. And that's when I just tried in my kitchen. I do a lot of things in the kitchen, like my kitchen is the lab. So I mixed, I have the rains from the pineapples, then all the herbs you can think of. Talk about cinnamon sticks, talk about ginger, talk about black pepper. Then I have the lemons and the rind. So we just put them in a pot. We cook them, and then actually if you're able to store it for at least 3 to 5 days, and you can give that.
You boil the rind. You boil both pineapples,
lemons. Then you can add all the spices we have. In Kenya, we are blessed to have a variety to choose from, because this the pineapple has a certain chemical that is really good for your health, and also from the spices, they also have some nutrients which help to boost the immunity. So you don't have to really go out and look for expensive supplements to come in and just help manage the cold. You can do that, and then when you add some honey on top, that plays a key role in just boosting your immunity. But one thing to remember about honey, we don't give it to children under 1 year. So that is basically for children from 1 year and above.
Yeah, so when you're boiling this, the rinds and all, it doesn't kill the important nutrients that are supposed to be given by this particular fruit?
So so for the pineapple, when you boil it, that is when you activate that component. However, there is something I had forgotten to mention. For the lemon, we are boiling the rind, and then now we extract the lemon juice. And when your concoction has just cooled down, that is when you can add the lemon juice, because lemon juice is rich in vitamin C, and if heated, it actually, let me say, it goes to waste. So that habit of you're making your other dawa and you're boiling everything, you're actually not getting the nutrients that you need.
All right. Mom, I'm just wondering, when you're doing, because you've talked about a very nice, I'm already seeing that plate. Do you involve your children in the meal planning?
To be honest, no. But what we do, personally, what I do, whenever I get a chance, maybe those Sunday mornings when I'm home, when my help is not there, when I'm cooking, I usually call them.
Okay.
You'll see my boys with the aprons. The girl, Akotu, just going around the
She's
kitchen.
The young one?
Yeah, she's the youngest.
Okay.
You'll see they love cooking chapatis, they love cooking pancakes, they love cooking eggs. So I take that time to just bring them in the kitchen and teach them a skill or two.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hear them, Mom, I'm the one breaking the egg. They break the egg. I tell my firstborn, break the eggs. You do the mixing.
So
you
you
put it on
involve
the
them
pan.
in preparation.
Yes, we do. Preparation more than planning.
Okay,
yes.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for engaging with us and continue engaging with us on 20316. WhatsApp on 0786316316 on any question, comment, or compliment that you may have. And I can already see there's a question here from Favor Wamboy, and she's saying, today is a good day for me to join in this discussion. Thank you for this. My baby is turning 6 months today, and I'm beginning to wean the baby. Which is the best food to start with? I was to start with a porridge whose flour has, a variety like wimbi, cassava, roasted omena, soya, etc. Is it safe? Because it is written 6 months plus. And then, which food causes constipation or reaction in a 6-month-old that I should avoid? I think that goes to you, Mary.
So to respond to that, first of all, that's a milestone for a parent, and Viva Wamboi. Let's say congratulations to you. So mixing flour for porridge is actually not recommended. Especially that mixture. There is uji power.
Okay.
We are mixing a lot of different foods.
Okay.
Let's say we have wimbi, we have maize, we have the amaranth, we have the omena. Remember, all these foods have different cooking times.
Yeah.
And most of the millers, they won't pre-cook these foods before they mix.
Okay.
So what we recommend as nutritionists is, if you're to mix a porridge flour, mix at least 2 to 3, or at most just do 2, because of the different cooking times. And then there is this aspect of adding milk to the porridge. Actually, it gives the milk some good taste, but actually, the porridge some good taste, but actually some of the nutrients are actually lost. So when you put milk, there is, I will say, like a reaction that happens between the different nutrients, and so you don't really benefit from the milk. So I will say give it separately, or if you are to add, just add a bit just to spice up the taste for your child. Also, what you can do, if maybe you started with wimbi and maize, maybe the next time you're getting your porridge flour, you could try another, let's say sorghum and wimbi. Just keep on playing with the flours, but don't add all of them at the same time.
Talk about allergies also, because these are so many things, omena. So in case a child reacts, how would you know?
Exactly. And remember, you're just starting, so you want to be very gradual also in how you introduce these foods to avoid the child from just refusing a certain food because maybe it's not, they don't like it. And it's good for parents to note that for a child to really appreciate or come to like a certain food, they have to try it for more than 10 times. So gradual introduction of foods will help to also avoid picky eating or just refusing, a child from refusing to feed. All
right, and wow, I love the engagement here, but before we go back, because I can see there's a lot of engagement on our socials, probably I just ask Jane, let's talk about weaning, because that's where we're at right now, especially with your 1-year-old. How did you do it? Was it easy, just introducing her to new foods, and how did you go about it?
Okay, I'll say I followed the doctor's recommendation. We do 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding. Wow. Yeah, so for the 3 of them, I did 6 months, which was so exclusive. And so after the 6 months, now the 1 day after, like the baby today was 6 months old. Tomorrow is when I start. Yeah, so I started with carbohydrates personally. Yes, I did we call it unga baridi. Yes, and then I started adding.
Is which one for?
It's like maize flour, but it's very fine.
Okay.
Very fine, like they come at the powder of. It's very
like
fine.
sieved.
Yes,
again.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is what I started off with. Yeah, and then after some 2 weeks thereabout, I did some more. I continue engaging with more carbohydrates. Now, because the baby's stomach is not as big, as strong, I did carbohydrates first, then fruits. Proteins were at the list of my, as I was adding proteins, month 7, month 8. Yes. But normally I did just carbohydrates and then to fruits, water, because that is when they start now taking water. I had not given them water before. Okay. So it was exclusive breastfeeding. Okay. Yes. All right. Fantastic. Probably let me just get into one comment here, or is it a question? Someone says, good morning, Sally. You guys are looking young and beautiful. May I know thank you for the compliment. May I know the best meals for a 1 year, 4-month-old kid? The best, meals that this child should have. Okay. I will answer that this way. Yeah. We talk about balanced diet, but it's important for parents to note we have actually balanced diet is proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins. However, we have different food groups. Also, this means the different food groups, we have grains, we have legumes and nuts, we have dairy, we have vitamin A rich foods, we have other fruits and vegetables. We have, did I say grains? We have grains as well. Yes. And I'm forgetting one. So what happens is, because the different food groups entail different foods, for a parent to make sure that a child is well nourished, they should actually make sure in a day they get they use at least 4 out of the 7 food groups to nourish the child. Is water part of this? The hydrating bit? Water. So water is aside. However, when it comes to hydrating, from some of the fruits are very rich in fluids, such as melons. So you can include that in the diet. So for a 1 year, 4-month-old baby, what you want to do, now we're introducing solid foods. Remember, as Jane has mentioned, we start with, I will say liquid foods, semi-solid, but now we are doing solid foods. Also, you feed them first before breastfeeding. That way they are able to be well nourished from the food, even as you continue with breastfeeding, because we recommend you do breastfeeding up to 2 years. Remember, their stomach is still small. So if they eat fast, if they breastfeed fast, and then you're giving them food, then that won't. Is it also happen. Like, when you have tea, it also, it doesn't tamper with the appetite? Because like when you have tea, then you eat, something happens. Is it like that? Yes, it does. Because for example, this may not necessarily for children, but for example, if you want to lose weight, we will advise you maybe take a fluid first, some water, or maybe some lemon water before you eat, so that you feel full very fast. So your portion gets smaller. Yeah, your portion gets smaller. So for children, remember, they are active, they're running around. We want them to, and they're very active. So we want them to get more of these nutrients from the food, and we want them to get a bigger portion. All right. Even though the portion size changes from 6 months up as they keep on progressing. So we want them to get at least more of the food. Then the milk, hydration, so that they can grow well. Fantastic. Awesome. Man, the questions are coming in fast and furious, and we still have a few more questions to take. But meanwhile, maybe I may want to ask, because for you, Mary, you have young kids, and I see a lot of parents, even in restaurants, in homes, you just find them on like a tab, TV as they eat. What are your rules around, screen time during food? Okay, so we also have a culture in my home that we only watch TV 6 to 7 p.m. So you'll find them, even if they're outside, they remember it's 6, they will run. And not alone, the neighbors' kids. They come, they watch, and then they know at 7 we are we put off the TV.
1 hour a day?
Yes, 6 to 7.
Wow.
So, but now we had a password. That is what made the discipline to be so, for us to have that discipline. We had a password that only me and my hubby knew. But now I don't know how my second born cracked it, because he now has the password and he's the one who showed the firstborn, this is the password. Now we are trying to rethink of now changing that. But normally now, because they have it, they don't watch 6 to 7, but we'll revisit our previous rules.
Okay.
Yes, but now when it comes to meals, they have to put off the TV and go to the dining table.
Concentrate on them.
Yes, we really emphasize go to the dining table, because that is where they know they are eating. And also we try to encourage as much as we can. We eat as a family, so that even the youngest, my daughter, can know when it's time to eat, we all sit and eat.
Nice.
We try. I can't say this is 100% that this is what we do, but we really try to if it's eating, dining. We don't eat in the sitting room, because the sitting room is where we have the TV. We go to the dining. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mary, what are your thoughts on screen time around, meal times? What would you tell parents who really, a child must have, watch cartoon and stuff to eat?
Well, what I will tell that parent is screen time interferes with concentration. Even when you're taking meals, the meal time should be mindful. Yeah. And if you do research and you look at Asian countries, for example, Japan, Korea, you'll find out that most of them, they are, I will say, lean, and it's because they practice mindful eating. Yes. You feel the texture of the food, you notice the colors, you chew properly at least 15 times. But if you have the screen, and you're eating, actually I think it also happens most times to us when you're like, oh, nilimaliza chai saa ngapi? Exactly. So the child can either overfeed or underfeed, and you don't want that. And remember, as Jean had mentioned earlier, we are trying to nurture healthy habits that they can take from, we can pass them from generation to generation. So I would advise parents, let's try at all costs to have meal times as a family, reduce screen time, let the children go out and play. That way you even nurture their brain development. They are aware, it's a whole process. They are aware of their hunger cues. They know when I'm hungry, they know when I'm full, and that really plays a bigger role in their overall nourishment. We had spoken we touched a little bit on allergies, for example, and have you had such an experience, like any of your kids with an allergy, and how did you go about it? Because they need to have a balanced diet. So for example, if they're reacting to, say, spinach, what were the options? How did you maneuver that?
Okay, when you say allergies, I believe it's something like when you eat, you get some reaction. Personally, I've not had with my kids, but as a child, when I was young, my mom introduced eggs to me when I was around 6 or thereabout. Yeah, because my mom doesn't take eggs. When she takes eggs, they react with her, and so they started reacting with me. So what I did, I introduced eggs to my children when they were very young. When we started weaning, and then around their 9 months, that is when I started giving them eggs. So when they started with the eggs, they continued. All of them now take eggs, and they don't have any reaction. Because I had read somewhere, like, if you want to know if this will react to your child or not, start it early. At least the body gets to familiarize with it. So when you do it early, it is better than when you do it later on. Maybe to say it's not like an allergy per se, but my eldest son doesn't take boiled eggs. It's because I didn't give him when he was young.
So he just doesn't like.
He just doesn't like, and we don't cook it. We do fries. We fry the eggs instead of boiling. So I think now it's the taste part of it. He's like, what is this? This is not an egg. I'm used to the fried one. But the others, my daughter and my son, my second and third, they have been eating it. Yeah, we go to, because maybe you have gone to an event, and you've gone home. We have boiled eggs, maybe that shags and all that. So when the eggs are boiled, they started eating them when they are young. So I usually feel like when you introduce something to your child when they are very young, that thing grows in them. They usually feel like this is food, this is what we're supposed to be eating. Maybe to give another example, like oatmeal. Most children don't take oatmeal. It's because they've never taken it from the word go when they were young. But personally, when we started weaning, I weaned them also with oatmeal. Like they know oats. We eat oat in our home. Like it's food, and they love it. And
I love what you had talked about your kids and vegetables and loving vegetables, which is very rare and unique to kids, you know. So Mary, how do you have, what creative ways are there to just cleverly introduce vegetables to kids who don't like veggies? How do you introduce that to them in a very creative way?
Wow. So I will say you will try maybe like creative shapes. We eat with our eyes, and right now with the CBC and everything, there is so much you can do. So maybe let's say for example, you could use a cookie cutter to cut out the fruits and vegetables in nice ways. You can also try and hide the vegetables, quote unquote, in a favorite meal. For example, if they love minced meat, you could try and grind or just finely chop the vegetables, incorporate them. One thing I do for myself, I know most children don't love hohos. So where I'm at the moment, I have a preteen. So I will grate the hohos, the courgette, everything, and I'll incorporate in. So when you cook, it just disappears. Also, just involve them, let them know the benefits, why are vegetables important for their body. When you relate it to an importance, it triggers in the mind that if I eat this, I want to be sick. I love the an advert for one of the yogurts that tells kids, if you drink this, it gives me my wo. So just try fun ways of making that food, of introducing to it the food to the child, let them know what it is there. Also, you could try make fancy snacks, like for example, you're trying to cook cabbage, and then there is chapo. You can just roll out the cabbage inside there. You could try then bake the vegetables with another snack, rather than just.
So you do like a wrap,
you know, a sandwich. The sandwich that they see, for example, in this fast food outlets, try and make it at home. So they will, this one is like what I usually see when you're out there. But it's more healthy. Oh,
fantastic, fantastic. And before we get back to the conversation, I just want to take a few. There's a question here for you, our nutritionist, Mary. Someone is asking, good morning, Sally and our guests. I have two questions. One, is it the best thing to give your child supplements? I think we had touched on that, but probably you can, say something. What makes a baby lose interest in his favorite fruit? Actually, not fruit. And then, is the notion about eating omena and fish make your child brilliant? So supplements, losing interest, and omena. I think that's omega-3.
So let me start with the omena and fish.
Yes.
So these foods are rich in omega-3. That is just a nutrient that helps in brain function.
Yes.
So if their brain function or their brain health is taken care of, that means they're brilliant. And I will say if we look for people who live around the lake region or where we have a lot of these foods, they're actually brilliant. So it's not just a notion, but
it's not magic, it's real.
It's real. It's real. It happens. And the earlier you start this, the better for the child, because the brain keeps on developing gradually, even as they grow. Then about supplements, as I had mentioned earlier, try as much as possible to get the supplements, to get the nutrients that the child needs from foods. Introduce a supplement only when recommended by a doctor, or if at all you see now there is a deficiency, which if we use foods, it will take longer, because supplements, they are easily absorbed in the body compared to fruits, to to nutrients from foods which need a longer process for digestion and also to be used up in the body. Then the other question,
it was about he talked about the fruit losing interest in their favorite fruit.
So probably that is as they grow up,
their
maybe
preferences
they change, and maybe they're used to that fruit for long. So just try to provide a variety they can get to choose from. And if at all, maybe right now they loved pineapples and then they're like, nah, I'm not doing this thing again. Introduce another fruit and then come back to it later. You have to be really patient.
But you introduce the fruit that, you know, like pineapple is full of what? Packed vitamin C? So you introduce another vitamin C, right?
You can introduce another vitamin C fruit, or you can just introduce another different fruit. Just put everything on the table for them to choose from. Whatever they don't like, you can just leave it for a while. Let them take something else and then reintroduce it later.
All right. You know, there's something I mean, their kids, as a parent, you have picky eaters, good eaters. Do you have any picky eater in your family? And what are the mealtime dynamics like?
Okay, I'll say yes. And this came as a shocker because I've had my first two, they're quite good, especially my firstborn. He eats well. He has, I usually say he has the appetite of the three. He can eat his food and even eat for the brother and sister. He's so good. Then my second is an average eater. He won't eat for everyone, but he'll eat his. He's not that bad, but he's quite good also. Now my daughter, we've had a rough patch with her. Like she just doesn't have that brilliant appetite per se. We have had even visits to the nutritionists in hospital. We have had the doctor even prescribe the appetites, this medicine. I don't know if it's a supplement or what, but it's called trimetabol. We were given at the hospital. We were told, go buy this for the appetite. It kind of boosted kidogo, but we're still working on it. We were even recommended to buy a certain milk. It's a milk, something like that. It's called Pedisure. We've done that, but I don't know.
So her appetite is just
okay. I can't blame her so much because I'm also not that good feeder per se. But yake, she's just there. But I just think she'll come along, maybe with age when she grows bigger, but she's healthy. We rarely go to the doctor.
Because that's what I wanted to ask Mary. Does it matter? You know, they could be picky eater, but they're eating, the little they eat is a balanced meal. Should a parent be worried or concerned?
Well, they will be worried or concerned if we are now seeing signs and symptoms of malnutrition. Maybe they are underweight. At times illness, just sickly almost all the time. So maybe to add on what Jane has said, just be patient with the child. Be a role model as well in whatever capacity, because pick the children who picky eaters, maybe they prefer this and not this. They're just choosy every time. But for instance, if they see you eating, let's say for example, a banana, they'll be like, children learn from their good imitators, not like a classroom setup. You will talk and talk, they won't listen, but what you do, they will see. So be a role model in what you do, and also just introduce a variety they can get to choose from. You remember the 7 food groups I mentioned? As long as from all the 7, at least you cover 4 in a day. Even if, let's say for example, in the legume sections, they want kamande and maybe they don't want beans. At the end of the day, you've still selected a food from that group. From that food group. And since we are in Kenya, sometimes we tend to think Africa is the Garden of Eden. We have a lot of foods to choose from. So just make sure you look from the different food groups and introduce that.
Great. I want us to be in a very realistic family setup, you know. Here you are with your kids and they're eating healthy from what you've told us. But I didn't hear you'd mention sausages and stuff like that. Then there's also people going for birthdays, you know. How do you then control the sugary things, the healthy eating still be part of it? Yeah.
Okay. I would say they do eat those things. It's not like they don't eat, but what we do it in moderation.
Okay.
If they are invited for a birthday, they'll go and have the time of their lives. They'll eat the cakes, they'll eat the sweets, they even come with them in the house. They tell you, Mommy, I have 2 lollipops, you know. So occasionally we do that. Even when we go out, we'll buy the chips. Because they know chips is yummy. Like we go out, Mommy, I want pizza, Mommy, I want this, I want that. But you see, this is not something we do every day. We do it maybe twice in a month, you know. So when we are out there doing that, we eat. What we tell them is just we just tell them this is a once in a while meat, and then I really thank God because of the school where they go, because they're even taught. They are taught like, this is healthy, this is not healthy. You know, you eat this once in a while. So they usually know this is good, this is okay. Yeah, they know that difference. Yeah.
I'm seeing a comment here. There's someone who's just commenting and say, good morning, Sally and the panelists. Thank you for educating us about parenting and nutrition. God bless you and continue doing that good job. Tunasema asante sana. Now, as we move now, you know, you're the expert now here, back to you again. And so this parent has a very active child, you know. Is there a specific type of food or meal that this parent should give their children or child?
For active children?
Very active kids. Those very active kids, soccer probably.
Yeah, so nutritional needs also change with physical activity. So if a child is into sports, they're so much active, you want to actually give them all foods, but probably increase the portions. Because also I won't say give them more of foods that provide them with energy, like ugali, chapati, kinandoma only. They also need the proteins to help them build to build muscles and to just help them grow. You need also to give them the fruits and vegetables for their wellness, immunity. So maybe what you need to do is increase the portion size, but don't insist on clean up the plate. Let the child, when they feel they are full, just learn to trust their gut feeling so that they don't overeat. So check on the portion size. Also just provide foods as we have talked. Remember, it's about food groups, food groups. All of it, and also remember hydration, which is very important for a very active, actually generally for all children, but for an active child the needs may be different. So hydration through water and also through fruits that provide most of the water. Just because of time, because we're just about to wrap up the program, maybe briefly just tell us how a parent, because water, not everyone likes water, how do you make a child drink water briefly? Well, you can sweeten it up with glucose. Glucose is really taken up in the body, and if children are very active, it means not much of it is stored. There's some children who love lemons, so you can add up you can give them infused water with lemons. You could also try even adding some orange juice or even some pineapple juice. If the kids love teas, for example, specialty teas, we have cinnamon teas, ginger tea, you could also add that up. You could also provide them with fruits like melons. They are rich in, they have a lot of water in them, so that will also be part of their hydration. You could do smoothies, and you could also do soups and sauces. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Do you do that? Your kids just drink water. Are they good at drinking water? Not really. I can't say 100%. They take water, but not as I would want them to take the plain water. So I usually do some of the things that she has said. Fantastic. But now, you know, because as I said, we are wrapping up now, what are your final, advice, sentiments to parents probably who have young kids on nutrition? Briefly.
I would say, like Mary said, that this goes beyond generations.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So the earlier you teach your kids the importance of eating well, the better.
Okay.
So as I would really advise parents, teach your children the importance of these foods.
Okay.
Yeah. As they grow, slowly they'll incorporate them. This will be a lifestyle.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we eliminate problems of maybe these diseases, these lifestyle diseases that we have today.
Okay.
Yeah, let's play our part.
Asante sana. Thank you so much for the lovely insight, wisdom here, fully packed in our show today. And we unfortunately are coming to the end of our show this Parenting Tuesday, but it is my belief that you've learned so much. But keep on sending any questions and we'll forward them to the expert and she'll be able to answer. Just to say thank you for your time, for your audience, and also not forgetting to thank our partners who have been with us in this. And if you want to be part of the people who are giving their support and donations, please join in and send your number or contribution, send your contribution or your donation to pay bill number 316 and write the word partner so that you are part of this, and you can send your donation to us on any of our numbers. And also remember to send the word partner to 316 0786 316 316 and you'll be part of this family. We want to say thank you, God bless you, and have an amazing Tuesday. And remember to give your kids the best nutrition ever as they are growing. God bless you.